Hello, our names are Paulina Milosavich, Andres Madero, and Alejandro Morales, and today we're going to answer the question about how do our attitudes towards the past and future shape our actions, based on the book The Death and Life of Charlie St. Cloud by Ben Sherwood. Especially in this book, we can analyze how death of a loved one can affect your attitude to your future life and to the actions you will commit in it.
The book starts with Charlie, the protagonist, and his little brother Sam. They were in the car, and Charlie was driving. Suddenly, Charlie did a wrong move, and they crash. Tragically, Sam dies. After this, years pass, Charlie graduates college and goes off to live in another place. More years pass, and Charlie comes back to his hometown, and all he could remember was Sam's memories. One day back in his hometown, he was playing baseball. He was throwing his ball, and it went too far one day, and it entered just the edge of the forest. He goes back for the ball, and he suddenly sees Sam's spirit. He was so confused. And right aside Sam's spirit, he sees Tess's spirit. Tess was a girlfriend which Charlie was in love with. In reality, Tess didn't know she was on the verge of dying. She didn't even know she was a soul. She had come here to find her father, but didn't realize what had happened to her body. After this in the story, she finds out that she was dead. She cries and was reckless. She figured out that all her dreams of flying around the world, having a baby, and knowing what true love meant was lost. What the story didn't tell us exactly was the purpose of Sam. Sam knew that Charlie and Tess were in love, so Sam helped to find the body of Tess in the cold, big waves and rescued her. They brought her back to the hospital where Charlie could see how Tess was brought back to life. In the end, Charlie and Tess lived happily ever after, and Sam, in reality, was there just to help his big brother Charlie.
In conclusion, we can see that Charlie's attitude towards the past affected his actions with grief and mourning. He was not moving on from what had happened to his little brother. He refused to enter to his hometown and was on denial about what had happened. After Charlie's encounter with Sam, Sam guides Charlie towards who he's meant to be, towards the purpose that Charlie was given, because he survived that car crash for something, so he could save lives. Charlie's actions of being a giver and a life savior were shaped by his attitude towards the future. He had this closure with Sam, so he learned to move on and be grateful for life and enjoying the meaning of life. And now that he's reunited with Tess, he accomplished being in love and having those feelings and sentiments about what life's about.